What? Pretty
Ooh,
good.
how you guys doing?
Good, good, good,
How do I sound?
good. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Definitely.
Jay, can you hear me? Good.
Yep. Can you
How's
guys hear
everybody's
me?
weekend? Yeah, I hear everybody.
Okay.
That.
Just
So, how we doing, Rat King?
Oh, wonderful. I had a great recording session about an hour ago, and uh, I thought the interview was at 5 my time, so I thought I was late. Panicked, but once everything came together, life was good.
Yeah, I'm glad we got on the same page. I was definitely not on the right page, so I do apologize.
No, me either. We're all good.
Okay, so I forgot to introduce everybody. So I'm Karma. I'm one of the leadership members with Ascendants. Down below we got Jay, who's also part of the leadership team, and we have to our left. Well, I don't know if it's your right or my left. Or go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Rat King.
So, how did you come up with that name? I've been interested for a minute to know why Rat King.
So, I realize some of the negative connotations that come with a name like Rat King. Uh, Honestly, it was a bit of a quick decision because I'm the master of twisting tales. And so, as a joke, I named myself Rat King because a Rat King is when, kind of gross, but when a bunch of rats get into a sewer, sometimes their tails get tied together, and it becomes what's called a Rat King. So, I'm Rat King because I'm the master of twisting tales.
Okay, I can vibe
Hmm.
with it. Jay, any words for that?
oh man. I'm just gonna say like don't take this in like a negative way at all, but you remind me of like Markiplier became a rapper. That's what you remind me of.
My girl was just telling me that the other day because we watched Markiplier a little bit, and she's like, "You're just like him."
I was like, that's what you reminded me of, and I was like, huh. I was like, Markiplier is a rapper. yeah,
Nah, that is a compliment, my friend. Absolutely.
that's a dope name.
Thank you.
It's very creative to say the least. I like it. There's no other Rat King, so you've got that going for you.
I know. That was one of the things I was so happy about when I looked at it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's 100 karmas, but there's only one Rat King.
I don't know. I like your name as well. I think it represents your style very well.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, being a part of the indie community, what advice would
Hmm.
you give to an artist just coming in?
Um, the biggest thing would be make those connections with people that sometimes you think wouldn't. Especially because when those opportunities come up, when you do get that feedback back from someone who you might view as someone much higher than you in it, it becomes a very empowering thing in this community. And then you can drive with that, you know? Uh, I know I run my podcast, or not my, I run my playlist, excuse me. And I do it in the sense that I want anyone to hit me up for music help, you know? I'd listen to every submission that comes through because I feel it's important to stand by what I feel with that, you know?
Absolutely. So with that, you say you listen to every submission. Do you also give feedback to everybody?
Not quite,
No.
just because I get a lot of submissions. But when I am live, I do go on Twitch, and it's pretty much if people show up, I'll put my input in, you know? I absolutely think it's important to be honest with people about what they're making because it helps them shape a public perception, you know?
Yeah. So that leads
And
into my
so,
next question. So
hmm
you say you'll give your input when you're live on Twitch.
hmm
Um, so if an artist or even yourself, how do you think constructive feedback should be given, and do you give it yourself? And how do you? Because a lot of people get their feelings hurt, even when you're just being honest
absolutely.
and trying to help them. How do you overcome that?
I think first allowing someone to realize that you're coming from a good place is important. When I went to college for photography, and my photography professor gave me the tip for criticism that is to start with a positive, throw the criticism in the middle, and end with a positive. Because by doing so, you give them something good and give them a reason to listen to what you're saying. Then you can come in with that feedback and they understand you're coming from a place where you do appreciate what they're doing, but there's a way to help that. And then you give them something at the end that like makes them show you still appreciate it. It's not that you're crapping all over what they're making.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the sandwich effect. I got you.
Absolutely. And I also think just allowing yourself to prove that you're genuine in all situations. Because if people don't think you're going to be genuine to them, then they have every right to be upset. But if you're genuine all the time, at least when you're giving them that feedback, you have that consistency with you.
Absolutely. So
So
has there
that's
been a
just something.
time has there been a time when you've received constructive feedback that it didn't resonate well with you?
Absolutely. One of the times for me was when, uh, so sometimes the feedback I get um, can be really positive, and I usually stand by those instances. But there have been times where people come in and really just uh, they hit you with the oh you're what you made here is terrible blah 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 and I see it as blah 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 because at that point I'm not even listening. But then they're like, oh, I'm only telling you this so you get better. Like that's kind of
That's not
fake, you know?
constructive.
Yeah, like that's like no, you just kind of crapped all over everything I worked a month on and then just like told me you were helping me by doing it, and that's not very nice. So when people come in like that, never appreciated. But as long as people are giving me the truth about what I'm doing, I think that's important.
I got you.
I was just gonna butt in my 2 cents here.
Hmm.
That that situation that you just explained is kind of like when people come and they try to give me criticism. It's more so
Hmm.
like little things or like nitpicks that don't even make sense half the time, and it's like,
Yeah.
why are you even telling me that?
Yeah, for real though. I agree with that completely. I think like I think obviously there are little things that can be wrong in something you do, especially with some productions that you're lining up. But like at the end of the day, if it's what you like and someone wants to nitpick that, like go ahead, I guess. But you know,
Yeah. I mean, people you can't please everybody. That's it. And that's in every industry. Unfortunately, music is a tad more picky because there's way more listeners and there's so many artists, but
oh yeah.
it's normal. So, do you see yourself signing a record deal, or are you trying to stay indie through your career?
Admittedly, it's a conflict I run through a lot. Um, just because it's my thing with signing over, I've never been someone to believe that that's selling your soul. Like you're selling out. If someone offered me a crap load of money to do what I love to do every day, there's obvious reasons where that's a good thing to do. I just know that as a person myself, that would also relinquish some of my creative freedoms. And so that's something I always get a little nervous about because I'm a person who is, I feel I'm very creative and creatively in tune. I know the things I like to make up, and I know how to do it really well and very quickly. And doing that in an environment that might want to sign me might not work out? And so it's
Absolutely.
always something I'm nervous about.
I
So
think
I don't
that's
know right
the
now.
same with anybody. Is you
Mm,
get that fear of like if you give up part of your creative freedoms, and it's almost like giving up a part of who you are.
absolutely. And not that I couldn't help someone envision or help someone with their own vision as well, like through some sort of studio setting. But I don't know. There's just a part of that I really don't like, and it makes me nervous. I think I would have to, if someone offered, they would have to be the right person. You know?
So with
I
that
feel
being
that.
said, who would you sign to if that opportunity came about and you got to, the terms were what you were looking for? Who would it be?
right now, just based on like artist selection alone, I would love Stone's Throw. I'm actually out here by North Carolina, right where they're located. I'm over in Virginia, and that would be amazing. They have people like Knowledge and Anderson Paak, and a lot of people who I feel have the ability to express that creativeness that I really like. And I feel like I would fit in there as far as that goes. You know, other than them, I admittedly haven't looked that much. Not that I don't pay attention to the artists out there, but more that it's one of those things I don't reach out for right now. I kind of want to just keep doing my thing, and if someone comes along the way, that's great. But if someone doesn't, I'm doing my own thing, and like that's pretty cool too.
I agree. I rock with that. I like it.
Thank you.
So what would you say is your purpose with music? Like what do you want
I
people to get from your music?
want to change the world. Uh, I believe in history there are two times specifically where music changed the world's perception in something in a way that positively impacted everything we do forever. At least within recent memory, and that would be the Vietnam War with a lot of the Vietnam rock at the time, and the '90s hip hop movement. Um, and both were just some powerful times, and because of it, they've proven to me that music is a powerful thing, and it's something you can affect people with. And I want to bring a positive effect. I believe in equality. I believe in we need to treat each other like humans, and it's something that if I had one opportunity to stand on a stage and tell every person on earth to just be quiet, look at the person on their left, and tell them they were human, and have them have that told back, that would be amazing. Because it just feels like sometimes we don't realize that about each other. Things feel like numbers and items. Sometimes it even feels like you're an animal in a herd, and like I just don't stand by that. And so I want to change that perception with my music.
I love that. I love that. I think that's amazing. I think
Thank
that's a
you.
good purpose. So I rock with that. Thank you for sharing that.
Honestly, just took me
Absolutely.
to my core. In all honesty, like
Right. Yeah,
making me rethink
exactly.
my
It did.
purpose in music.
Well,
Oh damn.
well, like, okay, so do you mind if I go on a small tangent here?
Let's do
I don't
it.
want to use too much time.
Oh, go for it.
So I started music, I was homeless in 2018. Um, and I lived in Minnesota at the time. It's where I was born and raised. And it was a really scary situation because the middle of January and one of our coldest winters we had ever had, it was negative 60. And my car didn't have heat because, broke life, right? um, but I remember sitting there and it was the closest I've ever been to dying. And it scared that living shit out of me. And wrapped up in all the clothes I had at the time, I didn't really know what to do, so I turned to Kid Cudi. My buddy had told me Man on the Moon was the album that got him out of a hard time with his parents' divorce, and I just needed something, you know? And that's what got me onto music. It was that moment that changed everything forever, because I made it through the night with the sweet sounds of Cudi's humming. And kind of grew an obsession from there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just what I've dedicated my life to, and it's scary to admit that to people, but it's the truth, you know?
Yeah, that's your story.
Absolutely.
That's thank you for sharing that with us because I know that being vulnerable and allowing others to know who you truly are and where you come from is not easy. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And it
Uh,
also it also adds like a different perspective because like most of these celebrities or some of them who have been in the limelight, you don't really get to hear what their story was. You get to see
yeah,
you get to see them in a certain point of view. So to everybody that's listening and hearing this and is gonna hear this in the future, they're gonna know that when you make it, that you're also human like the rest of everybody else. You go through
for
things, you
real.
have struggles, you've been in a moment where at your lowest or you could have, been dead or that's I think that's powerful.
I appreciate that. For real. I'll tell you, I don't have a car right now because we ran into some recent trouble. But when I did have my car, I would always sit in my car or sitting there and practice interviews for this exact moment. So I appreciate you guys.
That's awesome. I love to hear that kind of story. It's a reminder again that we are human. So
For real. And there's a lot of us out here.
there's a lot of us. So you just got finished recording. When can we expect new Rat King?
Oh, geez. I'm hoping sometime in the next 2 weeks. I know that's a little bit out. I just so this newest song. I know we just got in this deep emotional path. It's a comedy. It's a goofier song. Something that it's about being broke. And I
Relatable.
think it's gonna resonate. Like I think I wrote it well. I think the beat I made for it is solid. Uh, uh, it's a beat you actually might be familiar with, but um, yeah, it's exciting, and I'm really excited to release it for everybody. I can't really put a date on it yet. I'll have more of that when I get around to it.
No, that's totally okay. We love to hear that you're at least, creating and you're getting ready to release new music
Oh, all the time,
all the time, right? It's a grind.
all the time.
So what would you say is your personal favorite that you've released already?
Oh, my latest track, Faces, was really fun to make. It something that's a little bit different than what I'm used to doing. Um, I've never really been able to pin down my style, and so to like make a song like that that felt more pinned down, um, in general was just kind of nice, and it's a sound that I think I can stick to moving forward. So that's been a huge one lately. Otherwise, my entire album, The Headphones, when I made it as my previous name R&D,
Okay, yeah,
the
that's how.
headphones.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's all good. But my album, The Headphones, was a really big part of my life. I got caught in the forest fires during the time I was making that album in the West Coast. Bunch of stuff like that. It was a nightmare to produce and have all this going on at the same time. So when it finally came through, I was so proud. And it landed. It didn't get a lot of listens. I could care less. I know that's a badass album. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel good to say that.
And it should. I mean, that's part of your journey. So that's awesome.
Hmm.
There's a lot of projects like that for me personally, where I'm just like, it doesn't have a lot of listens, but I don't care. Like,
Oh
I had
well,
fun making it, I had fun singing it and putting it out. Like, it's a great process. And
for real.
definitely a bunch of
And
memories,
if
especially when you create something that you really like.
for real, man. And like the way I see it too is like when if I ever do make it big, people can go back and they'll find all these hidden the old personas of whatever I am at the time. You know what I mean? And I think that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we got a couple
So,
minutes left. So I want to ask you, as we head out, what do you want to be
mhm.
remembered for? What do you want to leave with the people? What's your legacy?
I want you guys to know that I am real and I am here and I love music. I mean that so genuinely. When a year after the whole thing with the car, I made it my New Year's resolution to listen to 1,000 albums, which was a nightmare as it turned out because I was just being naive. But that was 3 albums a day, and I made it to 1,076. And like I use that more as a thing to brag in a way, but also to say that like I genuinely love this. And I'm gonna be around whether I make it big or not, so you might as well join me now. You
Absolutely.
know, because for real, I love this. And I want you to love it too. You know,
Yep.
I guess like that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm real. I'm here, and I love any time I get to have with you guys. You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Well,
absolutely. That's
we really appreciate you hopping on and giving us a little bit of your time. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for being vulnerable and open.
absolutely.
For
I
anybody
appreciate you
listening,
guys too.
for
Of
anybody
course.
watching, go follow him, stream his last release Faces, and be on the lookout for this next one coming. Thank you so much, Cat
Big
King.
Absolutely.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you guys ever want to catch me again, I'm always live at Rat King Music on Twitch. Um, I'm always making stuff or talking with other artists and doing what I can. So, you got music or not? Come on by. We would love it.
You guys heard him.
Oh yeah, bet.
Find him on Twitch. Get your music play. Get some feedback.
For real.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. I'm sure we'll still
Abs-
connect on Twitter. So,
Always,
oh,
always, Karma. I got you. Do I have you on Twitter?
Jay.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
Man, if I don't, hit me up. I got you.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right. Adios for now, then.